Hello, Max Fox. Again, I'm Fox. I'm using media breakdowns, I guess, like just clips of Fionna and Cake right now. But episode 9 and 10, which are the finale, which is the finale episodes of Fionna and Cake season 1, which I love this series. And honestly, I would love for it to continue. But also, like, the way they wrapped it up, I'm like, God, I want them to continue it. But also on that same note, like, I don't know how they would do it. I'm like, they might have written themselves into... And, it's the point probably is because Adventure Time, at least now, they really, I think they really like to do, like, we're just going to tell, like, one-off stories. And that makes sense. But also on that same note, I like... saying Fionna and Cake, and I kind of wanted to see more of it. And I like, mind you, I'll talk more about it, but I like the ending to this. But also on that same, and also they did leave like some things not really unexplained, but like it left things where I guess you can either interpret it however you want, or maybe it is setting up for there could be a sequel. I don't know. But this kind of continues where the last one left off. Fionna wakes up in her world as she thinks, except it's completely wrong. You see Gumball is a glob monster that makes a Fionna and Cake pastries, people that he then eats. Marshall Lee becomes some kind of weird vampire squid that sets on fire. And also Fionna and Cake are having the same dreams again. And then they see Simon in here. And Simon goes, see, I'm doing this all for you, Fionna. All for you. Which, I'll say right now, like, I was watching it at one point, and I'm like, I was looking at it, and I'm like, this is very, like, I was like, oh shit, is this actually happening? Like, I legitimately was like, wait, is this actually happening? Is this not happening? What's happening? And then when she wakes up, I'm like, okay, it is. But they wake up in the world and, God damn it, this guy couldn't have better clips. Shit. Okay. But pretty much, or maybe he has it. Okay, he has it a little bit out of order. Okay, that's fine. That makes way more sense. Wait.
An unfamiliar.
But pretty much, it continues kind of where it left off. Simon wakes up. Simon wakes up in front of Glorblar? I don't remember. Betty. In front of Betty with the Lich, where the Lich is pretty much praying to Betty, saying, I did everything in your name. I did this, I did that. Why? Like, I need purpose. I need this. And pretty much ignores Simon. And then she turns him into a like one of these cubes in the sky. Which, I'm always a sucker for background details. And this entire episode has that in Cake and Fiona's world. Because we visit the future of Ooh, which is kind of interesting.
Dead was successful, although Fionna and Cake keep raising this.
But pretty much, Fionna and Cake, they wake up obviously in their world, which this is, I'm not sure where that's from one of the other episodes, I think.
But power at work.
Pretty much, Simon says, I have to get rid of the. I have to put the crown on so I can change their universe. While that's also going on, Betty pretty much then snaps his brain and sends him to the future to possess... I can't remember their names. But I'm pretty sure it's Finn and Jake after being reincarnated after their last... after their whole little... not fight, but like... their whole thing. When they got reincarnated together. Which, them being reincarnated, and like, you see things like the future, apparently, like, a tyrant is being controlled, and like, it's a little bit more serious, which is kind of funny, because obviously Adventure Time, like, it's extremely silly, and it still is, but, like, you know, they want to start a revolution to take down whatever evil there is. There's just like more creatures. Like, it's like this world is on the verge of another apocalypse kind of thing. Like, it's kind of like world ended. Slowly, like, the world is just in lowest part right now. Lowest part where you have zombies, you have the world of Ooze slowly kind of forming. But in that forming, you have the chaos that Simon and Marcy pretty much had to live through. Then you kind of go up to, obviously, Ooh, where, you have, everything's kind of settled down at that point. But then at this point in the future, there is now a decline again, where, there's different cities that are now run by tyrants. I guess there was always a tyrant in Princess Bubblegum, but there's cities run over by tyrants. The library is filled with these paper monsters. I do like their books though, where they're like book guns, but they're also a game. I'm like, huh. It was kind of cool, but. Oh, right, yeah, because this was when Fionna and Cake woke up in the dream version, where she sees pretty much that the world is back to being magical. Back to being magical and stuff. I'm pretty sure this guy is probably explaining it and, like, there is a reason all the clips are in this certain order. But it's all magical and stuff. And then, yes, when you slowly start seeing the decay, also apparently, Lumpy Space Prince, and I'm assuming Princess, have spaghetti inside them and were eaten by squirrels and dragged away. And I'm like, well, that's kind of gruesome. But then also I hated LSP when the Scarab pretty much was trying to kill Simon and the universe. And Betty just kept trying. I think Betty kept trying to kill it. And I thought Globglor, whatever the hell she is, whatever Betty is now, I thought, oh, that's the boss that the Scarab was talking about. That's the big ultimate godlike being. No, that isn't. And apparently whatever that other god is, it looks like it might be just God, is stronger than she is, because every time Betty tried to kill the Scarab, he kept dividing in different parts, which at one point I think they said like that he's immortal, which I'm guessing that then means whatever magic is making him immortal, which I'm guessing is from a higher power, is the reason why Betty can't kill him. Which is interesting. And again, like, it's setting up, like, even more, like, the cosmic level of stuff for the show. But also, on that same note, again, like, it's, what is the next thing going to be? Like, is there going to be a Fionna and Cake season 2? Because I want there to be. Because this whole episode pretty much is Fionna and Cake come back and they're like waiting for Simon to put on the crown so the world become magical again. While Simon is living in the body of Finn's future self, or future reincarnated self, and having to learn a lesson where with future Jake, they steal a book and have to play a game where pretty much it's an analog for there's Jake too. And there's also Gunther and Ice King Sandwich. But they have to play a game to see pretty much for Simon to learn that he's been kind of selfish a little bit his entire life. Where whenever was with Betty, they always did things that he wanted or things he needed and stuff like that, instead of things that she wanted to do. And she does bring up the idea, like, I am partially to blame because I just kept going along with it. And on one hand, I completely understand that, But also on one hand, I completely understand. And I guess that's kind of maybe like kind of what the story is, because like pretty much towards the end, like the analogs for Simon and Betty, it leads up to Simon. It leads up to like Simon having to make a choice of this bleeds into the next episode, I guess. Having to make a choice where does Simon sacrifice Betty for the crown, or does he sacrifice himself to save Betty and lose her pretty much? And he's like, this sucks. I hate these choices. And future Jake tells her, like, maybe it's because you kept going your choices. You could have went down a different path. Which, 100%. And like, it is, like, if anything, this is a really good, I don't know if it's a lesson, but like, kind of idea. Because on the one hand, yeah, Simon probably would have been happy if he did more of Betty's things and stuff like that. But on that same note, if he would have done that, we also see what would have happened. If Marceline doesn't have Simon as a father figure, Ooh is gone. That future is complete history. Betty and Simon are also then both dead from the nuclear holocaust that comes. Like, and the comets just recycle and stuff like that, and Finn just keeps being reincarnated over and over again, along with Jake and the Lich. But that's kind of the thing. It's like, yes, Simon's story, at least right now, it's kind of shit what happened. But also on that same note, because it's shit is the reason the world thrived. It's the reason the vampires didn't take over. It's the reason Marceline, slays the vampires, saves the world pretty much, and falls in love. His adopted daughter falls in love, finds her love. And is the reason like all of this can happen. Is the reason Fionna can exist. Is the reason a lot of this multiverse exists in their little spot. Like, a lot of it hinges on Simon finding the crown, on Simon kind of being selfish. And that's interesting. Like, at least to me it is. It's very interesting because, yeah, it's like, yeah, it sucks. And like, even like through the, while I'm going through the book, when they did Simon's choices, it's still like, I'm trying to think of ways. It's still, like, they still technically got where they were going. It just so happened to be the bad ending, kind of it. And they couldn't change it. And I don't know, it's just, like, it's really interesting. And, like, he even says, like, the reason why he wanted to put on the crown so badly, because, one, he hated his life, and because he's, like, he felt like he didn't, like, he was screwed up the second chance, and that he wants, and he should just give it up, which I'll bring it up. But like, let me see, because does he have the clip of it here? Looks like he cut out all the game parts that like showed. But yeah, then like it's cool seeing these guys and seeing their world again, because that's the thing about Adventure Time that I love, and like that's something I want to try to do with things like Owl Wolf Town, my own little animated thing. The thing I want to try to do with Owl Wolf Town is, yeah, there's a story going on. There is a main story going on with main characters and all that stuff, but also there are other shit going on in this world. Where that's the cool thing I always thought about Adventure Time was, like, we don't technically need to, like, and it's the reason why I love Adventure Time and I hate Amphibia. At least I hate Amphibia's ending. Because Fionna and, like, Adventure Time, you can have where it ended. It ended enough where it's the end of the adventure. But you could so have, and that's why I love the Owl House too. how it's ending, because it has an Adventure Time ending. Where, yes, this is the end of this series, but we could tell so many more damn stories in this world. And, like, we could see how Finn grows up. We can see how, we could skip ahead, see the future. We could go to the past and see more of, like, that stuff. Now we can even see what the multiverse has to offer. The Owl House has a similar function of that, where, like, we are not at the end, but now we can see losing college with Amity. We can see these other worlds that they're exploring. So that Amphibia kind of tried to have that. But, I don't know, for me it just felt flat because Anne is permanently locked away. We'll never see her again. Because that's the thing, too, because here's the perfect way you could have fixed that. Like, the perfect way you could have fixed that. And apparently, again, I haven't read Marcy's journal yet, even though I've had it, but now it's in storage, I gotta find it. Like, apparently they do say that they're building the portal, and, like, they might be able to teleport back there, but also on that same note, the world kind of already canonized that you need these god crystals to get anywhere, so I don't know how they would do it. But hey, I don't know. But then on the flip note of that, you have again, like Anne and them, like it looks like, yeah, they're trapped in that world. Like, yeah, technically, yeah, you can follow Sprig and Polly and all that stuff, but it's like, yes, but why? And I don't mean that in the sense of, like, I don't like those characters. I want to say they would be cool to kind of see them. But also in that same note, like, the God Crystals were, like, the biggest thing there were. And they're destroyed. And who would have been cool to see them reunite, which looks like we will never be able to see them reunite, is left in the human world. So she's just there until she dies and becomes God. Is there, like... And, like, we see, like, the ancient city of the Newts there. We see, like, that was the whole ancient technology. We see that, yeah, there's magic, but also, like there's nothing really built off of that. Like, all of Amphibia tried to, like, wrapped itself up, but then also, like, in that sense, I think cut off its legs of, like, if we're gonna make something else now, it's not gonna be continuing from the main story. Because, again, I'm going off on a tangent, I'm sorry. But I want to bring this up. Because, okay, here's a good example of it. Adventure Time. Especially these two, we can see how Ooh becomes this future Ooh. We can see the reincarnation of Finn and Jake, how they were born, how they met up, and all this stuff, and continue on from Adventure Time. In a sense, we could see all of this kind of slowly blend together into what will eventually be coming this world. And, like, yeah, then you have something like Owl House. If they want to continue it, show the collectors, the archivists. You can show the archivists coming back. You can see more magic that Luz and King learn using his glyphs. And it builds off of that past thing. What the hell else can you build off of Amphibia's story? Because all of it's kind of wrapped up, tied together. There's mystery still in this world. There's still mystery in the other world. And I'm going to bring up the Fionna and Cake ending bit. But pretty much Simon has to learn that lesson. While that's going on, Fionna pretty much... I know I went off on a tangent, but... yeah, Simon has to learn that lesson pretty much, and he eventually does. While this is going on, Fiona's meeting up with her friends, is happy to see these two together, but also explains, like, yeah, everything's gonna be magical. And these guys are like, but will we know each other? Will we still be in love? She's like, I don't know. And pretty much then the Scarab gets into Simon's head, and then that's something... they all have to do. Also, this is adorable. That's then something they have to deal with. Which also, while, like, Fionna is waiting for this, and while the Scarab is in Simon's mind, you do also start noticing. You can kind of actually see it here. Watch this show because you're gonna like notice it. The backgrounds are starting to get more and more insane. Like right here, this windows and bricks, they're not correct. They're not like matching together. Fiona's room is just messed up all day. Also, the Lich has like this on his, I guess like heart bolt. I don't know what that is. Maybe like he lost his heart. I want to see more of the Fionna and Cake. I want to see if they see it. But like you have things like there's like on the third floor, there's a door that leads down to stairs that then just drop off into death. Like you have stuff like that. And eventually, like as the world gets more crazier, you see. And also they capture the scarabs like pieces in all these jars, which then LSP, my babies, I'll release you, releases them. And I'm like, God, I hate you, LSP. Not as much as Ronaldo, but you know. Also, Cake left the Fiona's phone with Simon so they can call each other and text each other, and it's kind of adorable. But yeah, so they have to, but pretty much the world slowly is like deteriorating around them. Like you'll see like the weird chunks in the sky that are surrounding Globlor or whatever. You'll eventually see the statue of Betty becomes Globlor. And the scarab escapes, and I love that Gumball just goes, oh no, he's hot. I'm like, God damn it. But then pretty much everyone they then have to fight the scarab after he reforms. And I'm trying to think. Well, also Simon, like, he actually has like a conversation kind of with Betty in like a mindscape state where instead of, you know, Betty going with him to go find the Enchiridion, he goes find the petroglyph with Betty, but then Simon goes, this isn't what happened. And she goes, no, it's not, but we made our choices and all this, and it's really sad. And then it's pretty much how I guess Betty as Globular can talk to Simon as a person, since she's a god being and I guess can't just normal talk to him anymore. And it's sad, and it's like, God damn it, these two like are love each other so much, and like it's like none of it's fake, and like Betty even says like, I have some of the blame, like it's not only you who did bad in this relationship, I should have stepped up more. And I'm like God, I'm like, it's so sad. And then pretty much Betty drives away, and while that's going on inside Simon's head, the scarab is just trying to destroy everything. Cake is mostly the one that has to try to defend the place too, because Cake's the only one with powers. Because Gumball is like, I will fight them with my pastries. Throws it, doesn't do shit. Marshall goes, I'll defeat him with my music about our love. Plays it, and it sounds like a Western, and then that doesn't do shit. Cake starts shape-shifting, and okay, I don't see it here. Let's see.
Protracted and terrifying journey across the Adventure Time cosmos.
Nope. All right. So let's see. Come on. How you gonna skip it? Damn. All right. So pretty much, Cake becomes Godzilla. Like literally shapes into Godzilla, beats the hell out of the Scarab for a minute, but eventually Scarab breaks, like knocks her out. And see, look, right here, you can see some of the forming back there. But Fionna gets... and it's funny, because like it's the coffee shop AU meeting the, you know, actual Adventure Time like stuff, which is like, yeah, of course, these obvious regular people are not going to be able to do shit. But Fionna... But pretty much Cake kind of gets knocked out, and Simon pretty much gets really angry. He's like, I can't do this. I don't want this, and like stuff, and pretty much hacks up their universe, which he then puts it into his head. It forms into a not sunflower, god dandelion. Puts it in his head to give to Fionna and says, you'll know what to do with it. And pretty much she blows on it, making her wish, and it allows everyone to have a choice where it's not just Fionna and Cake's choice of everyone has to be what they say. Like, it can be whatever they want, which I agree with, but also on that same note, because I'll bring it up. But anyways, they're then able to fight the Scarab, and the Scarab tries to repo the universe, but after them unleashing all of his Digimon captures and then killing, Terry, the reflecting island? What was it? Also, the Cake overalls are really cute. Fionna is ripped. Oh yeah, Fionna is ripped as hell in this. Fionna as a kaiju fan. Yeah, because she's like, oh my god, I love this! Puzzle pieces from Oolog, yeah. And look, you actually see some of it right here too, like this building's bring coming. And it actually looks like a lot of the cube things.
Celebrate the canonization.
Also, because the universe then reconnecting with the world, which also, like, when the world reconnects, it's like, oh my god, it's canon now. The Scarab tries to repo it with his wand, it doesn't work. But then he's like, I'm just gonna destroy this place! Which, I don't know if it was Oolog or Simon or whatever, sends these guys to come help. Sends the vampire tank with baby Finn in it. Sends this kid with his girlfriend, which they then kind of help in the fight too. Fionna, and also the Cake's squirrel friend who gives the strawberries that Fionna eats the strawberries, becomes a giant, goes, oh my god, this is one of my favorite dreams, beats the shit out of Scarab, turns Cake into a hammer, beats the shit out of him with that. Then eventually eats apple and grows back small. And also she just like flexes it. She's just like ripped. Fionna is ripped. I love Fionna a lot. She is great. But then these two pretty much go, so can we live in your world now? Which I feel like you should probably tell your dad that. But also they go, yeah, sure. So pretty much Fionna now lives in, and then pretty much they defeat the Scarab, seal it away. God then makes the Scarab into a shadow person with Prismo, and Prismo says, "Hey, I'll teach you how to make your character creation and make some characters and stuff. Make your own universe." And he's like, you can do anything. He's like, how about dark medieval mystery drama? So I'm like, okay, I want to see that world now. And pretty much after that, Fionna and Simon kind of learn to love their world. And also, like, all the gods that were captured now he knows how to dress. All the gods that are captured now kind of live here also, which I guess that's a better, you know what, me thinking about this more, I'm liking it more. Pretty much like how it ends is Simon learns to love Ooh and live his life, where Fionna, coming to the realization after her world is almost destroyed, that like she doesn't want this world to disappear. She loves this world and she wants to keep it protected, which leads to her, kind of having more love with it, but also it's now mixed in with a little bit of the weird stuff. You have this guy who's now a coffee shop maker, who's also an eldritch god. You have Cakeso with her magic. You have these two still being human, but, together. But then you also have stuff like that. It also, like, this entire show has kind of been trying to hint at that Fionna or / Finn and Huntress Wizard are kind of meant to be together. It seems like, because you even have in their main title, which I thought Huntress Wizard died or disappeared or whatever, but I guess not. It's been a minute. Like Finn went to go hang out with Huntress Wizard in Well, Huntress Wizard is in the vampire world, but she dies. But in this one, she seems to really be hanging out with Hunter a lot. Even one of the last people she hangs out with, and also is helping throughout this whole thing, and he's useful. These guys, he opens his own little pastry men, and is handing them out pretty much who they are in the other universe as food. Fiona's, and that's the thing also that I find funny about this, Fiona's technically son, because Fionna is Finn, so her alternate timeline son decides to live in her universe with her, her now daughter-in-law, and then also with the baby male version of Fionna herself, because baby Finn is also here, which I'm like, okay, is that starchy? These guys, they pretty much, and it's pretty much like a lot of mundane kind of things. That's pretty much like the Coffee AU kind of idea, where it's like all these characters are now just living a regular life, like she's doing roller derby now, and they're living life, and they're kind of happy. And then Simon again is telling this girl about like his adventures and all that stuff, and she's writing it down, which is cute and great. He's getting therapy and is gonna move. The Scarab is now, a shadow person working for Prismo, and might actually get the ability to become a wish granter. Also, like, eventually Simon does get back to his world. And this is when she was the Godzilla form, but whatever. You're not going to show it. Fine, whatever, I guess. But yeah, like, this show was great. Like, I legitimately like it, and, like, I want to see more of it. And, like, again, like, my ups and downs of this is I want to see Fionna go on more adventures. Like, and the thing is, too, like, they do say, like, their world was trapped in a bubble that pretty much, I guess, not really much can change like that. But now, because it's its own canon universe that is now connected to the multiverse, it looks like maybe now more crazier things can happen, which I want to see. I want, like, how I want this to be, and if they do come out with a season 2 of Fionna and Cake, is I want there to be, if they don't use the multiverse again, I want to see Fionna and Cake's universe pretty much become the Hilda universe. I said this in the last episode or two ago, I think. The Hilda universe. I want to see where, yes, it is modern day everything, but you still have those bits of magic in there. Like, I don't want it to be where it's just the Coffee AU. I want to see that magic side of it still be brought into this universe. I want to see that, and it's cool. It's cool. And, like, it's funny, like, the Scarab even says, like, now that you're not in a bubble, now you make mistakes, they'll have consequences, and this and that. And Fionna and Cake just goes, well, that just sounds like being alive. So I'm like, yeah. Let's see. Digi-Egg, Scarab, time to get hammered. Oh, yeah, that's what Cake said when she turned into a hammer. Which also, when the island gets killed by the Scarab, and, like, there's all the things that, his captures that are then trying to attack him, he, like, oh yeah, Terry, the island of self-reflection, I think. Like he comes out, like, just covered in blood and shit. I'm like, oh yeah, I love this. Pawn Swan is the future. They're still playing books. LSP, I Hate You. Turtle Princess Dream. Oh yeah, they dreamed about Turtle Princess. And the last thing that they dreamed about, because everyone had, like, an ending where where Cake and Fionna were dreaming about something. Fionna and Cake dreamed about Simon sleeping. Meta, I guess. Gun books. Can you stop with the multiplication? Can you stop with the head cutting? This I just got that Hercules line stuck in my head when she kept trying to kill the Scarab and he just kept multiplying. In the background where Fionna explaining they might change, one of the buildings has a 3rd floor with a staircase. Yeah, I love shit like that. It's so good. Lich made made into a cube. Also, I guess the Lich is just dead in that universe. Like, the main timeline Lich is dead. I don't know. You do not belong here is what happened. Was in the coffee shop or the pastry shop during Fiona's nightmare. And also, like, she said, this is just a normal life. And then baby Finn drives through on a tank. So, again, it's setting up that, this world is still, there's that bit of weirdness still in this world. And I want to see that bit of weirdness, like, whether it be in books or whether we get, like, a season 2, which I would love a season 2. There's a bunch of multiverse things you could do with it. And Fionna Cake's one is kind of like, her exploring the multiverses, but eventually still coming back, or maybe slowly adding to her world with the multiverse and stuff like that. I think that'd be kind of cool. I would want to see Fionna go on more adventures and stuff. And I would want to see probably more of this world as well. But also, I do feel like they could easily just go and just do another side story and stuff like that. Though I don't know who they would do, actually. I guess they could go off of Finn and Jake's reincarnations. They could go off of them and see that timeline. Because there's a reason why, like, the Peppermint Butler episode of Distant Lands I haven't watched yet, and I probably should. But there's a reason I haven't watched it yet, and it's because, like, I don't give a shit about Peppermint Butler. Like, I don't. Like, Finn and Jake, hell yeah. Marceline and Bubblegum, hell yeah. BMO, okay. Peppermint Butler, like, why? If anything, I think I watched the BMO one because it was before the other ones that I really wanted to see. So, like, I don't know. Like, Adventure Time has a bunch of characters. There are only very few that I want to see. Fionna Cake was definitely one that I really want to see. I'm happy that we got that one. And, like, even, like, adding with Simon stuff, too, it's really great. It would have been cool to see her have more swords and stuff, though. But, again, I want to see more of it. I want to see. I hope that her world is going to be similar to Hilda's, where it's very mundane, very, like, soft. I love these colors and everything. But you have that bit of magic in there. And that magic that just is like, yes, we have modern day time, but we still have that medieval kind of feel with the magical creatures and stuff. And I want that. But other than that, I love this. I want to see Fionna deal with her interdimensional son and daughter-in-law along with her baby self. Which, will the baby ever grow up, or will the baby always be a baby? I don't know. But, yeah. And, there's just a bunch of cool things that could happen and stuff. I was kind of hoping, too, that Simon was going to put on the crown and then, but he was going to have control of becoming Ice King, but I don't know. But yeah, tell me what you think, comments below. Thanks for watching. If you're checking videos I've done, links are on my face. Subscribe to your videos. Hopefully enjoy this. Check out Owl Town. I'm working on it. Like, I had to pause for a minute, and I won't be able to record my voice. I won't be able to record voices for anything for a minute, but I will be, I'm working on backgrounds, and I might have to redo some sprites because I've been practicing with drawings, but I don't know. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching my videos. Tell me what you guys think if you like this or not. I want season 2. I want to see more Fionna and Cake. I really, 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 really want to do. Really, really want to. But thanks for watching my videos, and like they're even building stuff with the gods and stuff. So yeah, but thanks for watching, and we will see you later. Yeah, God, it's so good, and like I want to do stuff like that. And like watching this again, it's invigorating me more to work on Owl Town because I want to do stuff like this because I know Owl Town. I can make it where it's something similar, where it's a big ass world with all these different stories that are happening, and you can do different stories for different characters, but still have it like I'm gonna do it. I'm goddamn gonna do it.